How would you clear a malfunction one-handed? Let's talk about that. Hey everybody, this is Mike with Personal Protection Academy. If you find yourself shooting one-handed, how would you clear a malfunction? Well, let's talk about two things first. Why might you find yourself shooting one-handed? You're in a gunfight and you get shot in the arm. In your arm, you have one arm that's incapacitated. That's one reason. So at that point, you would need to shoot your firearm one-handed. What about if you're holding back a non-combatant, a child or an adult who's flipped out by the fact that there's a gunfight? They don't know where to go and you're holding them back to keep them safe. Maybe you're shooting from cover or concealment one-handed. Either way, there's lots of reasons you might find yourself shooting one-handed. If you have a malfunction, how do you clear that malfunction one-handed? Well, let's step back for a second. How do you clear that malfunction two-handed? I'm in the middle of a gunfight. I'm shooting and I get a click or a dead trigger. If I've got a type 1 malfunction, it is simply tap, rack, flip. If I've got a type 2 malfunction, which is the brass sticking out the top, same thing, tap, rack, flip. I tap the magazine just in case it's not properly seated. I grab the rear of the slide and I rack and I flip. I'm getting anything that's offensive out of there and I'm getting a new round in. So clearing a malfunction, type 1 or type 2 malfunction, two-handed is tap, rack, flip. If I'm shooting one-handed, how the heck am I going to do that? I don't see how that can happen. Yep, it can happen. It's not as hard as you might think. So I've got an incapacitated arm. I'm shooting one-handed. I get brass sticking out the top of my gun. How do I clear that? I still have to tap, rack, flip. So what I do first is I tap with my knee, bring my knee up. I hit the bottom of that magazine. There's my tap. What about my rack and flip? Well, I'm going to use the rear sights on my firearm and I'm going to bring it up to my belt and I'm going to rack off my belt. Or I might bring my leg up and rack off of the pleat of my pants. Or I get down on the ground and I rack off of my foot. Or if I've got a trash can next to me, I rack off of the trash can. Either way, I'm taking the rear sights or the optic, either way, and I'm using that to get leverage to rack off of. So again, a one-handed clearance of a type 1 or a type 2 malfunction is going to look like this. Stowed arm, shooting one-handed, got that malfunction. I tap the bottom of the magazine, and my personal choice is I'm going to come safely to the belt and I'm going to rack my rear my slide off of the rear sight, and then I've racked any round out, put a new round in, and I'm back in the game in a one-handed manner. So what about you? How would you clear a malfunction one-handed? Put some comments down below. Tell us if you agree or disagree. What are some other things that we can do to clear malfunctions one-handed? That's it for today. See you next time on the range. Bye-bye.